The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
A very good evening to all of you. The Love Talk Show is on air.
On air to talk about intelligent love.
And coming directly to the love therapy session, we had today another love therapy where it sounds repetitive what we say here, Andrea, but the truth is every single love therapy has been special, and today wasn't different.
It wasn't different. We learned a lot of very important lessons to put into practice. It doesn't matter if you are single or married. We are building up a pillar within for us to make right choices and to give amazing testimonies.
And as always we do, I would like to hear from you. I know that some of you were in the love therapy, you were watching, you were joining here the love therapy. So right below here in our chat, what caught your attention the most? You know, I can share with you one thing that caught my attention was exactly at the beginning of the service when Bishop brought that bag full of books and books inspired by God. The authors, they were inspired by God to write those books. But Andrea, just knowing what is written there is not enough. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do remember. It was the first thing that Bishop spoke about. Having the knowledge is not enough when you don't have God's guidance specifically for yourself, when you don't listen from Him directly.
So write it down here what caught your attention the most while we are going to watch this real story.
When I was a child, my mom left me back in Africa to come to the UK. I was just living in different places. I was living with different family members. There wasn't any stability. I didn't have a stable home really per se. At the age of around 9, I came to the UK to join my mom. And now she had a family. She had her husband and my siblings. That's when things got even challenging because obviously I didn't grow up with her. And our relationship, we just couldn't gel. I faced various abuse by her. I was verbally abused. I was called things like, you know, I wish I didn't have you. You're good for nothing. You're ugly. I have other children. I don't need you. So my mom would severely beat me as well. I was a very quiet child. I didn't have, you know, friends, this type of thing. I wasn't interested in going out with friends or whatever. I was very obedient, and still, nothing I did was ever good enough for her. When I'm sleeping, she would come and she would drag me from the bed and she would just beat me just because I look like my dad. She would beat me so much that I would even bleed on the floor. She left marks on my face with her nails, just on my cheeks. Apart from the physical abuse, it was more so the things that she was saying to me. Things like, I wish I didn't have you. Your father don't love you. Your grandmother doesn't care about you. You know, the hurtful words that scarred me. Eventually, at the age of 16, she told me to leave the house. And so I had to go. At this point, I didn't have even any document to prove who I was, because coming here as a child, I came with someone else's document, so I became homeless. I didn't have passport or anything to show this is who I am. I was 16, I was walking around trying to find a solicitor to help me sort out my immigration problem. I had to grow up very quickly, and I resented that. I resented the fact that I didn't have a childhood. I resented the fact that I didn't have a family that for me was normal, you know. I didn't have a mother that wanted me in a way. All these things happened, different events happened. I then got into a relationship with someone who, he wanted to help me, let's say. That's how it started in the beginning, you know. I was young, he was 10 years older than me, and it ended up him being my boyfriend, and I was attached, and I became very attached to him. Shortly after, I fell pregnant, and then that's when I started to see his true colors. So he said, well, I needed to get rid of the child. But for me, my intention was that I wanted to have a family. This could be my family, him, my child. It didn't work out that way. At that moment, of course, knowing that this partner of mine that I wanted to have a relationship with rejected my child, rejected our child, and the whole plan that I had, that was very painful. I was very young, but I was still studying. I was doing my best to try and, make something out of my future. I was just fed up. I knew that there was a God. I knew that there was something above everything, right? And I'd always been searching for that, but I just didn't know how to connect with God. And luckily, walking past, Finsbury Park at the time, I remember that someone had invited me to, the VYG. But because at that point, I just was very lost. I was already a very angry person. Even though I was young, I was very angry. I didn't know how to socialize with others. I didn't have any, socialization skills in terms of being a young person. So I was just, I needed help. So it was nice to be around people my age, being in the environment. For me, I was already different in the sense that I couldn't really relate to some of these people because they had families, they had normal things. The first thing that I had to do was sit down and talk. I needed to talk about what I was going through. And that really helped to start the process of my change. So I remember speaking to the youth pastor at the time. He didn't use emotions. Of course, he sympathized with me, but he simply said, you have to forgive. What do you mean, forgive? Did you not hear what I've just told you? I've been through this. I've suffered. I had to sort out my immigration myself. I had to do so much things. But I can see now that he was trying to lead me in the right way. I was progressing spiritually. However, there was something in particular that happened whilst I was in this journey with Christ, whilst I was in the church, a situation that happened that really affected me. So at this point, I'd already forgiven my mom, I'd already forgiven, everything that she's put me through and etc. But I could not let go of this situation that had happened to me. I was accused of enticing someone's husband to me, right? That accusation destroyed me because I'd never been like this in the world, even though I had opportunities to be. And, to be accused of this, in the church, I didn't really know how to deal with it. So I just bottled it up. For many years, I bottled it up. And within me, anger was growing inside of me. It revealed to me that the fact that I didn't want to forgive, even though, I had many years to forgive, this people that was involved, I chose not to. I didn't want to. I wanted them to pay for the situation somehow. And this then delayed my own progress in my spiritual life. It delayed, what God wanted to do within me and inside of me. It was as if I was rotting from the inside, and it took years and gradually to the point where I could no longer recognize myself. I didn't change. I wasn't changed inside. I was not a new person. Even though I physically was doing things seemed to be progressing, there was still a limit, and I had reached that limit where I then became very frustrated to the point where even Satan had access to my life because I started to have, those things I was having before, like the panic attacks or the nightmares was sort of now coming, the desire to not wanting to be alive was now coming. And I was in the church. I was blaming everybody else. I was blaming people that, that accused me of things. I was blaming, how my life started. But really, once I looked within, finally, once I addressed me and I changed, I let go of the situation. It did not take long for my deliverance to happen and for me to receive the Holy Spirit. The moment I realized and I understood that I needed help, I understood that I wasn't who I thought I was, that led me to surrender everything that I have. I was so broken. I was so ashamed that I'd, that I had lived wasting so many years. I had to let go of it. I had to trust God with my entire life. Shortly after, I received my deliverance, and the next day after my deliverance, I received the Holy Spirit. From that moment on, my life has completely changed. It's almost as if there is it changed right from day and night. It's two different type of Taveri, two different type of life. But what changed was knowing that God was with me. The self-pityness that I had for so many years, oh poor me, it disappeared. I had an identity for the first time in my life. I wasn't a lost child. I wasn't a mistake anymore. Receiving the Holy Spirit, it was all I needed to really change my life, because prior to that, I was a very determined person. That's why I was able to achieve a lot of things. That heaviness that I had inside of me that was weighing me down disappeared. Because I changed within me, I was able to establish a financial life that I would not have been able to have established before, because probably I wouldn't have the mannerism, whilst at work to deal with people, because probably I would have just been bursting out of anger out of nowhere. My marriage is a blessing. I'm a blessing to my husband. I have a very, very happy marriage. I honestly believe that I would not be the person I am today without the Holy Spirit. There was no fixing me. I was already a broken case, and my brokenness wasn't physically, it was inside. There wasn't a amount of anything physically that could have fixed me, honestly, because I was a broken case. I was a lost case inside. God was able to reach me from the inside and change that. And now the boldness that I have today, the things that I have to do, even in my career, at work, the old me without the Holy Spirit could not have been able to do that. Everything about me, God has made new, and I would not have been able to achieve this without the Holy Spirit.
Wow, what a story, a living or a real story. I kept something that she said. There was not a fixing me, she said. A fixing me. There was not a fixing me. You may watch this testimony, this real story, and you may think, or you look at your situation and you thought exactly the same. There is not a fixing me. There's no way for my life to be fixed. It's so broken, it's so destroyed that there's nothing that can be done. But yes, it can be done. She is the living proof of this. We could see there, Andrea, all signs of a person who suffers with a disappointment. She was basically abandoned by family, by everyone. She was living by herself. She was forced to mature herself, but although she was still a kid, in the first opportunity that she had, she thought, no, now I'm going to have my family. And with the few things, the few tools, the few things that she had in life, she thought, I may be able to make this my own family, but more disappointments and the signs of disappointment, they were all there. This emotional distress that she was living with, the sadness, the frustration, the sense of loss, the sense of being abandoned, the resentments that she was carrying within her, the sense that she was not being valued or loved, the marks that she was carrying inside of herself in her life, proved that she prove no, was making this woman believe that the disappointment was the only thing that would happen in her life.
Setbacks, and that was what we were speaking about in last week love therapy. And no one likes to receive a no. No one likes when something bad happens, when a problem arises, when we are disappointed by people. Like we were watching this testimony, and she went through a situation that she really didn't like, and she was in pain. She got hurt, and so many years, she got stuck for so many years because of that situation. And we can see, Peter, sometimes people, they come to us, oh, I like these people and this person didn't like me back. I was disappointed. I was even betrayed. And they carry this luggage for so many years. My friend, the thing is, if you don't get healed from the inside, you will never be able to experience a true a relationship that will make you happy. Because for you to make someone happy, you have to be happy from within. You have to live with yourself in a healthy way.
And this is when the lack of motivation, Andrea, comes, because the person is not happy with himself, with the self, and blames everything that is going around, and he or she is not motivated anymore to fight for a better life. And when we look to this person's real story, we can see that there is a way to turn things around. She was demotivated. She was blaming. She was even blaming herself. Lack of self-esteem, resentment, lack of motivation, as we were talking. But she turned things around, and I would like to talk about this. I would like to tell you what you can do to turn things around. But before, let's just watch a few minutes of our love therapy last week, not today's, but the last week. Let's watch, and I'll be back straight after.
We have to know how to solve problems without using our emotions. We were speaking about emotions now. Feelings and emotions, they have a place in our life, but you don't solve problems using emotions. So many times we see that there are couples who have recurring issues, recurring problems. Why? Because they never get to a point of knowing how to solve things. Right? When we get angry, we do silly things, foolish things. When we get angry, your blood pressure goes up. Did you know there are people who have a stroke because they get angry? Did you know that? Who's heard about that? Have you heard about that? So how do you solve problems? For example, if you're at work and you lose your temper with someone, a colleague, and you break a glass, you break a cup, what's going to happen to you? You lose your job. Is it true or not? And you probably get something there in HR for abuse, harassment, whatever they use. In our relationship, we have to know to solve problems. We have problems to solve every day.
So, and now, what to do to overcome all these things? Intelligently, you have to understand that repeating the same things over and over are not going to take you a better place. If you keep insisting in doing the same thing, the end of it will be exactly the same. So now it's time for you to understand that maybe the way that you've done until now, it's not enough. It's important for you to seek support, and not the support that people can give you, because that support, Andrei, it's what people, they have been looking, and they sometimes have been nagging the support of friends, nagging the support of the partner, nagging the support of an ex-partner, nagging the support of someone who already said doesn't want anything from them. And what this person doesn't see, they are putting themselves even in a lower condition.
because we are expecting from people what people cannot give to us. Only God can do that. And the same thing we said before, only the Holy Spirit can transform someone from the inside out. I was thinking even while we were talking about the setbacks in love, that I had people, I won't say many people because I was very young when I got married, but I had people that disappointed me also. I was starting to get to know a person, and the person was talking, I didn't know that, the person was talking to me and to another girl at the same time. And I could have accepted that because my friends were already getting married, you know, that anxiety, oh, it's better for me to grab this one. But I didn't do that. And I said, okay, please, if you want that person, go ahead. And another one was not the right one for me. And like Bishop James said, when you receive a no, you're not going to die. So before I got to know Mr. Right, that is Mr. Peter Right, I got the wrong ones. I got to know the wrong ones.
Thanks God.
And that didn't kill me, you know, I'm here. Hello. So don't allow those things don't put those setbacks inside your luggage and keep on carrying them over and over again and reminding about what that person did to you. Oh, I'm not worthy anymore. No, you are more than worthy. And that's why you are watching us. And if people, a husband that you got divorced from, an ex-husband, told you that you are not worthy, that you would never be happy if you left him, you would never find someone like him, that's a lie. Because God is rebuilding lives and is an expert in doing so. We have been seeing that in the love therapy and through these testimonies.
So take action, my dear friend. Take action. Do something that will be constructive in your life. Something that will be, you will see good fruits coming out of it. You know, start doing something. Disappointments, they can take a toll over your life, your heart, emotionally, even mentally. So it's time for you to understand, well, I need to do something. So the first step is for you to understand the value that you have. You need to seek for help, and we are here to help you. The way that we have been people being helped, and the testimony.
The way that we have seen.
Yes, and the testimony, the real story that you were watching, it's the living proof of this. And yes, and you have to start moving on gradually, you know, step by step. No one changes life overnight. But now at this very moment, you can go, you can turn, and you can say, from now onwards, I'm not going in this direction anymore. I'm going in this one. From now onwards, I will not be pity on myself.
Have pity on me.
Yeah. So from now onwards, I will fight for my goals. I will fight for myself. I will do whatever I need to do in order to get rid of the disappointments, and more than the disappointments themselves are the marks the disappointments left in someone's heart, in someone's mind. And on the top of this, that's why we have the love therapy every Thursday. We came from one, we are going to have another one next Thursday, 8 p.m. Although our doors are open every single day, you can talk to us, you can talk to all of us whenever you want. It's for free. You can seek support whenever you want. We are here available, so you have in your hands all the tools that you need in order to build a better life, to start building a better life for yourself.
Pay attention to the 10 reasons why you should take part in the love therapy. 10. Heal from the wounds of past relationships. 9. Learn about intelligent love. 8. Prepare yourself before dating. 7. Become a better husband or wife. 6. Restore a marriage in crisis. 5. Learn to value yourself. 4. Win back a lost love. 3. Debunk relationship myths. 2. Learn how to choose someone compatible. 1. Bulletproof your relationship. The Love Therapy, every Thursday at 8 p.m. at 232 Seven Sisters Road, Finsbury Park, London, N4 3NX. Also at selected locations across the country. You can find out more by calling us on 020 7686 6000.
And it was announced today in the Love Therapy that the next week we are going to have a special theme in the meeting, which is physical attraction. So very close attention. Next Thursday, Bishop is going to talk about physical attraction. Spread among your friends, family members, because this will be the subject next Thursday, physical attraction. Well, the Love Talk Show is getting the end. Tomorrow we are going to be back 10 p.m. May God bless you all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.